Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Politics in Plain English. And today I had to make this video because I was so sick and tired of hearing on the news about what supposedly President Trump has said about this Schiphole word, speaking against minorities, right? Well, before you jump up and get excited and say, oh, he's a racist, he's a misogynist, we need to impeach him to get him out the office, check the source where all this information is coming from, because it's so important. If you don't believe the source that it's coming from, you don't have to believe the story. Now, where did this information come from? A senator named Dick Durbin. Now, let's see, what is there about Dick Durbin that we all need to know? He's a senator from Illinois. Wait a minute, isn't that the home of AlCapone and Jesse Jackson Jr., who just got arrested, and Rob Blagojevich? He's serving time in prison. What is it that all these people have in common? They're a bunch of liars. Now, Dick Durbin actually comes from a very racist state, and the reason I can say that is because I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and I never ever knew any white people other than the man on the corner who was the candy store owner. Other than that, I don't know any other white people, because Chicago was set up where everybody lived in their little section. If you were black, you either lived on the south side or the west side. If you were white, you lived on the north side or far out in the suburbs. That was it. We did not communicate. And if a black person moved into a white community, the white person moved out. And this is after the Jim Crow laws. This is in Chicago right now. That's the way it's always been. That's why there's so much crime and violence in Chicago, because they didn't care about the poor black people. Yeah, Dick Durbin, he didn't care. And just like Rahm Emanuel, they don't care. None of these people, Mayor Daley and all of these people, they're all the same. So that's the first thing. We need to question his motives. And what was his motive? Why did he decide, oh, you know, I have to report this to the world to let them know this is a terrible man? Well, look at the what the Democrats are doing. They're basically obstructionists, and they're liars, and they're KK people. They are the worst in the world. And if you don't believe me, just look at the report that they got from the Freedom of Information Act about Lyndon Baines Johnson. He was our president back in the 60s, right after John F. Kennedy was assassinated. Lyndon Baines Johnson, now they found in this report that he actually assassinated 17 people prior to President Kennedy. And he did so because he was a KKK member. Hello. And he also said that he would have black people voting democratically for the next 200 years. Did you hear that? 200 years. These people in Illinois are not being truthful with you. And another thing about this Dick Durbin guy, he actually is known for making up lies. Yes, he is a big lie maker. He actually had to backtrack on some information that he has stated about our American troops being like Nazis, using their techniques in war. He gave a tearful apology. Now, this was back under Obama's administration. So this man has a history of lying. I would not believe him if he said it was raining outside or it was sunshine. I would have to go outside and check. This man is a known liar. And the whole reason that he black people, please, if you're watching this, why is it that you would want to believe this white man who comes from this kind of a background? He's telling you as a black person, oh, this white man here is a racist. Don't believe him. Well, why should we believe him? Why is a white person telling somebody else that they're a racist, and this man has a history of being a racist? Also, this is the same place where Hillary Clinton came from, Illinois. I'm telling you, these people are a big, fat, phony liars. These people, you can't trust them no further than what you can throw them. Now, this is also too, I wanted to let you know, blacks, why do they always use blacks to inflame, you know, the racism thing? Well, if you look back, we're the only ones that were been slaves in this country for what, 200 years, 400 years, whatever. We're the only ones. All the other groups came in as indentured servants, although blacks did start off as indentured servants too. But we were the ones that were put in chains and what have you in this country. So we have a history of being persecuted, and we're very sensitive, ultra sensitive. If anybody says anything about a black person, you immediately, anything is turned into a racial thing. You can't even say simple things. Like I was at church at the Rock last year, and the Pastor Miles, he's African American. He was making fun of the fact, you know, people would say, hey, how come milk got to be white? And how come chocolate got to be black? And how come and he said, well, God made it that way. Get over yourself. I mean, everything is not about black and white and being racist and what have you. It's just that black people are ultra sensitive, too sensitive right now, because everything they see, it has to be racism. It can't be that people just don't like you. Like Bill Winston said over there in Chicago at his church, he said, you know what, you got your own cousins that don't like you. So you got family members that don't like you. Forget about the whites that don't like you. If you want to be a victim, you can always be a victim. And this is what this guy, Dick Durbin, he plays to that. He wants you to be a victim. You can never do better than being a victim. And also, who comes out after all of this? We have the race hustlers. Who is that? Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, all these other people. They're coming out of the woodwork. Oh, he's a racist. We need to get rid of him. Why do you think they're doing that? It's all about the money. I remember being with Operation Push back in Chicago, because I belonged to him, and Jesse Jackson wouldn't do anything unless he said, you cut us in or cut it out. What he really meant, you cut me in or I cut it out. Now, if you didn't grease his palms, you weren't going to get anything. Yeah, you heard me right. You weren't going to get anything. Same thing with Al Sharpton. He looks like the biggest pimp I've ever seen. I mean, his hair's all slicked back, and he looks a mess. But these guys are out for what they can get, and unfortunately, there are a lot of blacks that you see them on CNN. They're out there. Oh, we don't like Trump or whatever. They're getting paid a certain amount of money to go out there and condemn their own people to keep them down. It's just like Joel Osteen said about the therapy, you know, conditioning, where they had a bunch of monkeys. They had put the bananas up in the tree. And every time the monkeys would try to go up and get the bananas, they would shoot cold water on them. They kept doing this until they conditioned the monkeys to be terrified to even go up there and get the bananas. Then they brought in another set of monkey who didn't know anything about this water. So when he would try to go up to get the bananas, the other monkeys would pull him down, because they were conditioned to believe every time you go up there, water is going to get doused on you. This is the same way with blacks. We've been conditioned to believe like this. And it's so sad and it's sickening that a lot of us are just into the thing where you got to be a victim. No, you don't have to be a victim. Now, this is coming to my fourth point. Nancy Pelosi, you know, Trump has said he wanted, you know, bringing back jobs, which I love, because I've always worked since I was a little kid. You know, I was always out there trying to get a job working. So now that all these jobs are coming back, and these companies now are paying $1,000 to $2,000 to all their employees, it's amazing. You know, Walmart said they just raised their salary to $11 an hour, and they're giving each one of their individual employees $1,000. Well, that I mentioned Nancy Pelosi. You know what she said? That's nothing but crumbs. You mean to tell me $1,000 is nothing but a crumb to a person who's making minimum wage? And Hillary Clinton called people deplorables? These people do not have your back. They don't care about you. They are a bunch of liars and deceivers, and they're doing anything and everything to make you believe they're on your side when that is the furthest thing from the truth. These people wanted Hillary to be in office because they wanted to turn the whole United States into a socialist place. That meant the government runs everything. They tell you what food that you could eat, where your health issues, whatever you could do. They tell you where you can live. They put everything in the government's hand, and you can have no say-so over nothing. And if you don't think this is the truth, go over there to Venezuela, where they're a socialist country. Those people over there, they don't even have food on the shelves, people. They don't even have that. So these people, Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, Hillary Clinton, all of these people who called you deplorable, they didn't just call black people. That was just everybody. A minority, they consider you as nothing. They believe they're at the top and you should be at the bottom. So again, don't listen to anything what these people have to say. Now, then the fifth point I want to say, what do the Democrats offer minorities? Anybody, whether you're black or white. They offer you food stamps. They offer you welfare. They offer you EBD cards. You know that they have the food stamps, EBD, all that's the same. That's what they offer you. And let me tell you something. You have, in Chicago alone, whole families who have never known how to work. These people have been on welfare assistance forever, generational now. And when you have a whole house full of people living there and not one of them has a job, what do you think is going to happen to your community? These people don't know anything about anything except being out in the street and doing, God knows whatever. But these people, this is what the Democrats have for you. Now, let's see, like I said, with Trump, before, like I said, you get offended, let's see what he's doing. He's actually bringing jobs back into the country. He's trying to weed out those people who don't have your best interests in heart. And those are basically a lot of the Democrats and the socialists and all these people who want communism. The reason they don't want the wall is because they have a plan to destroy this country. But thank God there is a God in heaven. He sits high and he looks low, and he's seeing all of this that's going on. And he said, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. This man, Donald Trump, is not a saint, but he also is what God has sent. And the reason why I can say that, because 1 Corinthians 1:27, it said God chose the foolish things of the earth to bring the wise man to shame. He chose the things that look down upon to bring to nothing at those that are. So when you look at the system the way it is now, they're laughing at him. Oh, he doesn't know how to talk. He's ignorant. He's this and that. That is a lie. God is using them to bring these people who are like Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Obama, and all these, to bring them to shame, to nothing. And Bill Clinton, all the dirt he's done, and all this other stuff that's coming out now, let me tell you, it's a whole lot more. Because like I mentioned in one of my other videos, I told you, I said they were either this foul ring, all of this is going to be coming out big time. So, again, I have more to tell you, and I just want you to know, please get this video, pass it around, let everybody know we're not all stupid, and that God has a plan, and as long as we stick with our president, Donald Trump, we're going to make it through. Thank you.